Hello and welcome back to Ben and Mike's Film Room. And we recently watched Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which you just saw for the first time.
It's true. I had never gotten to it. I have no good excuse. Everyone said it was great, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's totally gonna be great. Oh, it's gonna be so great. I'm gonna watch it, and then I never did. And then Civil War came out, and I watched it, and I was like, well, I think I got everything I needed from this one before I'm at. I still think that's kind of true.
Yeah, maybe, but
it was cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that was your history with the movie. My history is that this is one of the few Marvel movies that up until a certain point, that I didn't see in theaters. Because my parents never took me.
Come on, Mom. Come on, Mom. Come on, I want to go to the movie, Mom. Come on.
Yeah, so eventually I saw it on demand, and originally I didn't much care for it. Because what was it? I was 15 at the time when it came out on home release. So, and I'm still not very everyone described this movie as an espionage spy movie, which it kind of is.
Kind of, yeah.
But so, and the thing is, I'm not really into the Mission Impossible movies. I'm not that into the Bourne movies.
Well, Bourne movies are just shaky.
Well, I'm also not really into James Bond.
Yeah, I mean,
my point is that threw me off. But I watched it because it was a Marvel movie, and so I was always kind of negative on this movie, not really caring about it. But then one day I got the DVD and I rewatched it. I'm like, this movie is amazing.
It really is. Very, very good.
It's a very good movie. If for whatever reason you're listening to this podcast and you don't like superhero movies, this movie is awesome and it's good.
It is just good. Now, it does assume you know some things, though.
Like what? Hydra. It assumes you've seen the first Captain America.
That's really it.
Yeah.
Do you need to have seen Avengers?
No.
That's true.
Because
just the first Captain America is all that's needed. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Because the other movies in the phase so far, you've needed to have seen Avengers, but not the other movie.
Well, you didn't need to see that with Thor: The Dark World. But yeah, this movie stands alone basically because after this they never mention Hydra again. They technically do at the beginning of Age of Ultron. There's a bit in Ant-Man, but after that it's basically gone from the movies.
In Ant-Man?
Very briefly. That's where because the bad guy in that one's selling some of the stuff, the Yellow Jacket stuff to Hydra.
Yellow Jacket, you mean, is selling stuff to Hydra?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said some of the Yellow Jacket stuff. I got lost. It's okay.
Okay, so anyway, but yeah, that's my history with the movie. Now let's read. Yeah. Now let's describe our plot in very stilted.
In our notes that are supposed to help us remember the summary.
No,
it's pretty delightful.
Yes.
So have at it. Do you need? You got it?
Yes, I'll read it entirely.
Okay.
Cap in modern day goes on mission. Black Widow steals info. Meeting to delay helicopter guns. Gun helicopters, I mean. Which is the helicarriers. Fury fight scene and smart car. Nick Fury Mole Man, which is when he burrows a hole through the ground through his car.
He's a mole. Which
I always I always assumed he burrowed a hole through the ground. I didn't know because Ben mentioned that he went over.
It's clearly a hole of some kind.
Are you telling me the car slid over a manhole cover?
I don't know. It looked. I mean, how else did he go down? The thing can really dig a hole that. And where'd all the dirt go?
I know. That's my point. That's something that.
Did he ingest all of the dirt required to escape? I'm just saying. That's got to be
Well, he is
hundreds of pounds of dirt.
He is Nick Fury, Mole Man. Anyway, Cap finds Fury. Don't trust anyone. Robert Redford is bad. Run away. Find Black Widow. Wears shoes at mall. as well as
I'm just saying, the shoes, they got excessive amounts of attention.
as well as hats to
It's
disguise
true.
themselves. Cap and friends are fugitives. Weird kiss in mall.
It was weird.
Winter Soldier fight with Cap #1. Old computer with accent. Hang glider. Bird Boy found. Bird Boy found.
I thought I spelled it right.
I don't think you did.
How do you-
Abed cameo from Community. Mexican standoff, the greatest Mexican standoff of all time. Because
It's like 17 people pointing guns at each other. They're like, I'll shoot if you shoot, and then they're all...
then the first
so
guy
they don't
the first-
initiate the helicarriers.
Yeah, the first bad guy, like, puts down his gun and then cynically grabs a knife from his boot or something and slices Agent 13, also known as Peggy Carter's granddaughter. What?
You promised. You promised!
I mean, who?
Who indeed? Neighbor?
Agent 13. And then after that, everyone just starts shooting everyone. But after that, infiltrate helicarriers. Bucky fight Cap #2 until the end of the line. Nick Fury double fakes death, goes into hiding.
That was it.
Yep, that was it.
I think that's a good summary of the movie.
I think we should deliver all of our summaries as
This
still
doesn't make any sense. I'm
It
just
doesn't,
letting you know.
It doesn't matter.
Unless you've seen the movie and remember it vividly, this makes zero sense. I think the main thing is that he's a technical fugitive, and he finds out the truth that Hydra has been inside of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a very long time, and it's been building up and preparing.
Hydra did 9/11.
Hydra did 9/11. As a matter of fact, Bucky did almost everything bad that's ever happened.
Yes, he hijacked the planes.
Well, I don't know what he did, but in every case, they freeze him.
I do believe he was. It might have been implied that he was the second gunman with Kennedy.
They like jump through a bunch of things super fast, and they just say, like,
When
anything important.
history did not cooperate, it was fixed. That's not what he said.
It was rewritten.
I don't know, but it was like it was changed, I think.
So pretty much this is the big twist. Hey, spoilers: the
Hydra is here.
S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't good because Hydra's in it, not because it's inherently shifty or anything weird like that. Don't you think? I'll get to it in a bit in the bad part section, but
There are a lot of bad parts.
there aren't very many, so I'll probably just wait. But there's this big intrigue about who is Hydra and who isn't, but really it's not even an issue because they just make themselves known by actively attacking Captain America. And no one on the good side is trying to attack Captain America, even though the boss said that he's a fugitive and is bad news. So why isn't anyone good trying to get him?
I don't know.
Is it just because Captain America is so stinking good? They're like, well, obviously he's in the right because he's
he
Captain
is-
America.
Well, he is Steve Rogers' perfect human.
It's true. He is perfect human, isn't he?
Yes, he's like that's the point of his character. Like he is the one beacon of light in this bleak universe.
It's true. This bleak Marvel universe.
Yes, where there is no joy or happiness.
It's true. The colors so grayscale.
Well, in this one,
It's so sad.
a little bit. But what were we talking about?
That was just wrapping up additional summary
because-
stuff. So hang glider, of course, is Hail Hydra,
But it looks like they're saying hang glider.
and they're holding their arms up in the air like they're grabbing a hang glider.
And I don't think I'm not sure if we mentioned this in the first Captain America review, but that was from Lindsay Ellis.
We did actually.
Well, there you go.
But it's
clearly,
still great.
Clearly, everyone's been listening to.
You don't remember
single
every reference?
How dare you not remember our references that we reference to other people who actually originally made them?
Hey, if someone's got a good idea, theft is the biggest form of flattery.
Greatest form.
Dang it.
Is the goodest form.
The most good form of takey stuffy.
Takey stuffy boomy bomb.
Hey, don't take booby.
Boomy!
Just
You
messed
dirty
up.
mind! How dare you!
This is now having to be flagged as explicit for no reason.
Oh no! Boobies!
So, good things about the movie.
Most. The action. Nick Fury action scene.
Oh man, the Nick Fury action scene was so cool. He like pulls out that like freaking machine gun.
First off, they get a battering ram.
And boy, are they super prepared to attack this armored car.
Yeah, because also, I don't like taking things from CinemaSins because they're garbage.
Very true.
But I think in one of the things he said something about how the holograms in front of the screen probably wouldn't be the best idea while driving. You know, having the little pictures pop up while driving probably would be the best. So that's more of a nitpick, honestly.
But really, it can drive itself, so who cares?
Also,
Checkmate. CinemaSins.
But yeah, let me talk about that scene for a second, and then I'll go into another thing. Is that they got a battering ram, and that window is strong. I don't know, like...
It took 3 rams.
Like, you did. And it's like... Like, that is awesome, and then 1%, luckily, then he pulls out his machine gun. There was a small edit there, because a baby came in. We don't know whose it was. But
Anybody's.
Yeah, but he seemed very sleepy. But yeah, as I was saying, yeah, it has like 1% on it, and then he just, I don't know, it's like he shoots everyone because the window is at its weakest, and then it eventually drives away because it's fixed now, I think. And it says like, it says something that it basically says, that, sorry, the car cannot fly currently.
Yeah, he said deploy wings. They're like, the wings are not functional.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what is functional?
The air conditioning is operating at full capacity, or something.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and then Bucky shoots a magnet grenade underneath
Something
the car,
they've had all along.
which I mean would be really useful.
I mean, and really, if it comes down to it, why not just blow it up if you're trying to kill him and that's your whole goal? Why would you bring 4 cars worth of people to just shoot at the thing?
Yeah, and I mean,
you could have just blown it up.
I mean, they already thought him out as well. How long was he standing in that one clearing, in that one crosswalk?
He clearly arrived on the scene following the failure of
Are
those
you
guys.
sure he
No,
Are you
that's
sure
just
he
what I
wasn't
think.
waiting for 4 minutes?
On that one particular road as they
Yes.
meander about?
Like looking into his watch. Oh, it's 2014. There seems to be less racism. I don't like it.
Back in my day. No.
Uh,
So, the car gets flipped over,
yeah.
and he uses his magic laser wand.
His
to cut a hole.
lightsaber.
He uses a lightsaber, if you will, Mace Windu style, to cut a hole in the floor
And burrow to the center of the earth.
as a mole man.
Yes. Which
And he
I
stays
am not convinced that he fell over a manhole cover. I'm saying visually it looks like he burrowed through the ground. But I think that was the fault of the directors.
Well, you know what? Let's pause the recording really quick. I will Google this. I'm very interested.
Okay, pause.
And we're back. So, after some Googlings, and mostly the Marvel Cinematic Universe Wikipedia
And Reddit page.
and Reddit, we found that he had a device, a little tiny lightsaber. That device is called a mouse hole. Why is it called a mouse hole? Maybe it's for making mouse holes. And he used that to cut at least through the metal of the vehicle. Now, he might have dug the hole with it. We don't know, but we do know that either he was long gone, and that's why he wasn't pursued by Bucky, or the hole was small enough for Fury, but not for Bucky. That's the dumbest thing ever.
Yes, first off, was that edit noticeable? Secondly, why didn't he just go down into the hole like One Punch Man?
It would have been so easy
and
just
appear in front of him.
like his face just... Oh.
Yeah, that was a visual joke, people.
It was a visual joke. I tried to recall... Yeah, we're moving on.
Yeah, sorry, you'll never finish that thought. Anyway, other things we liked.
Oh man, almost all of it.
Yeah,
I
like-
loved the idea of the Nazi computer man.
Yes.
I love that he.
I love
used-
Nazi computer men.
I don't know what his name is. That's why. What's his name? Swiss man.
German, Swiss, but German, but then corrected to be Swiss. Armin Zola.
Yeah, Gorgonzola is just fine. I think that he used such an old computer is really, really fun because
Which
he
you didn't-
transferred his consciousness into that really old thing. I was like, oh.
Somehow, and but also you didn't know that was gonna happen.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie. This.
So are there any other Marvel movies you haven't seen yet, or have you seen all of them at this point?
Let me look that up really quick.
I can simply name them.
Yes, this is the very last movie that I had not seen. So this is my 21st Marvel movie.
And what a film to end on.
I mean,
don't have to play
pretty
anymore.
great.
But yeah, like all the fight scenes in this movie are great.
Oh yeah,
Like you got the fight scene, like you got the stealth mission at the beginning, like when they're on the boat.
super great.
Yeah, where Cap goes
Dives
dives
into the ocean.
without a parachute and climbs up the anchor
Okay.
chain and then just stealth kills everyone like he's Solid Snake.
It was a treat.
Yeah.
And then there's the fight. Shoot, when he chases down Bucky, and Bucky catches the shield, you're like, oh, but then he doesn't keep it.
Yeah, and then he's like, I told you this during the movie, but if any of you haven't seen it, there's a How It Should Have Ended animation on this movie, and in that scene, he's like, I'm gonna keep this. Wait, no! And then he jumps down, waving his arms about, saying, whoop, 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 whoop.
I mean, because really, if he can catch the shield is like the ultra legendary weapon. So it makes tons of sense for him to keep that thing because it greatly hinders Captain America. Now, clearly, Captain America is very good at fighting, and he also happens to have superhuman strength.
Also, quick side note before, generally, this whole movie is it's pretty good. It's pretty great. It'd be kind of redundant to say, oh, this part was awesome, this part was awesome. But I'd like to say that this is one of the few Marvel movies where the title is based off from a comic.
And
Like,
the other ones aren't?
not really.
Not Thor Dark World or
I don't know.
Iron Man 3?
Yes, because all comics have 3 in the title.
That's why I
I mean,
said it.
like, the few that I can think of, I'm not sure if Dark World was a actual comic, and I don't think Ragnarok was.
Ragnarok certainly was.
Yeah, well, that's from North
No.
mythology.
Thor Ragnarok is a thing.
Yeah, but
in
I
the comics.
Yeah, but I think in that comic there's a robot Thor. I heard that one from Jeremy Johns. I
Oh
can't.
my goodness.
I can't prove this.
What are you doing to me?
Did you pause it?
Nope. Robot Thor.
I'm sorry, we're doing this live.
We're doing live! That's not Ragnarok comics. Okay, now I'm just gonna Control F and type the word robot. Okay, nothing
Look at
about
a lot of-
metal. How about Thor? Thor. Okay, bad choice. Oh, here it is.
Cyborg clone of Thor.
Ragnarok is the character who is
See?
a cyborg clone of Thor.
See, completely different people. So
He has all the power and knowledge of the God of Thunder prior to Thor's acquisition of the Odin Force.
this is amazing stuff, people. I wish we had it more in the movies. But are we getting any of this? No.
It's not Mjolnir. It's made of vibranium and adamantium.
The same stuff
This
as
is-
Cap Shield.
This is so weird.
I know comics are weird. Movie Bob fans enjoy that. So like I can think of only 3 movies that take comic titles, and that's Winter Soldier, Civil War, and Infinity War.
And Spider-Man: Homecoming.
No.
Dang it.
But the thing about side note, Infinity War is the movie is based off the Infinity Gauntlet, and even then it's loosely based off of that because in the beginning, in the comic, everyone gets snapped at the beginning.
That's true. And also the Civil War is greatly
Yes, greatly different. If you,
shortened.
Like, I haven't read it, but
I-
that has to do with, like, mutants blowing, like,
There's
fourth-
a lot going on.
like-
It's a whole arc.
yeah, D-level.
much.
It has to do with, like, D-level mutant superheroes, and then one of them accidentally blows up a school.
There's also a huge plot point with
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man that never really goes there
In
this movie.
Well,
It's the exact
Yeah,
opposite.
that could like the okay, but to get more on track, like
Yeah, we're kind of.
we don't know. Like I don't know the Winter Soldier comic at all, really.
But it does have the name.
I assume the general plot is like, oh, Bucky is revealed to still be alive, and he's an assassin, and he has his memory loss. That's what I'm guessing. Other than that, I don't know. But I will say that most of the Marvel movies, they take ideas from the comics, and like, because in the comics, Thor doesn't have a sister; he has a secret brother that was cast out by Odin.
Oh, but Hela is still a character. Or-
Yes, but it's a different character.
Yeah.
Like they,
Well, I mean, a lot of fans thought. I mean, we'll talk about this on the Ragnarok one, but
Yeah.
a lot of fans thought she was going to be Lady Death.
and then
That,
Thanos would be in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And that still could have been an option, but no. Anyway,
Yeah, that
we
would
will get there later.
Yeah, like, but yeah, overall, this movie is just really good. Like,
Oh, man,
it's-
this is a good movie.
It's hard to critique good movies because they're just so good.
Yeah.
Have
I
you-
mean,
have you
I
tried-
think
have you
there
tried-
are some things that are a little annoying about the movie.
But they're nitpicks.
I'm going to start with the smallest of nitpicks.
Cap's Notebook.
No, that's not the smallest of nitpicks. I think that's a really fun treat.
Yeah, because
actually.
he's also seen Star Wars.
He has seen Star Wars. That's the only thing he's crossed off on the whole list. Although he did say he had watched something. What was it he had watched?
He said, "Would you like to play a game?" It's like, "Yeah, I've seen it."
Yeah, so he watched War Games.
World
But
War.
he didn't. But no,
War,
he saw the
man.
movie with Matthew Broderick about computers in the 80s, but he didn't get to.
Well, that movie was about like the Cold War, kinda.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it's a historical piece for himself.
Yeah, which when he said that, I thought he was referring to Saw, because that whole thing is like, "Would you want
Oh,
to play a
that's
game?"
creepy.
So
You're
I'm-
creepy.
Well, okay. First off, I haven't seen those movies.
I haven't either.
but I
I've
know
seen
that
it.
I know that thing.
Oh man.
So I thought, did he see Saw?
No, he saw War Games.
Yeah, him being the good Christian American that he is, he probably wouldn't see Saw.
Yes, he wouldn't seesaw
He did not seesaw on the seesaw with see the saw.
with Sally by the seashore. So, as far as nitpicks go, one, what is the deal with the shoes at the mall? Why did we look at the shoes? Why did we care about the shoes? Why did he comment on the shoes?
What shoes?
The shoes!
What shoes?
They're like wearing high tops or something?
When?
When they're in the mall.
I barely.
And he's like,
Oh,
we couldn't
that-
even run in these. They'd fall right off. Blah, blah,
Okay,
blah.
that I vaguely remember. They didn't focus on. There wasn't like a camera. There wasn't
It
like.
started with a straight-on shot of the shoe.
It was an-
It seemed like a lot of focus
Okay.
for a pair of shoes.
Okay, it wasn't like they
We're
said.
clearly talking about shoes more than they looked at the shoes, but it was a lot of time at the
Excuse
shoes.
me, we are movie critics. Everything we talk about is important,
It's true.
and our opinions matter
We are-
more than yours.
We are beyond reproach.
Reproach.
It's like parole, but with reproach.
Yeah.
So, the shoes was weird. The kiss was very awkward because he's on the higher step.
Yeah, he's like
What the heck?
he's like a foot higher than him. He's
Yeah, that would like break your spine.
Yeah, he'd like have to bend his knees because that's like that won't attract any attention. Like, dude, you're like 18 inches above her.
Yeah, it didn't.
It's
Like,
like-
the mechanics of that made it difficult.
Like, it's one thing if they were standing next to each other, but they're like a foot lower.
And couldn't they have just faked it?
Or at the very least, why don't the directors like swap them? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, to make it more convincing. It's like,
Oh well, here we are.
I mean,
Well, it is a traditional thing that the man is on a higher position than a woman in a shot. Like that.
yes, the patriarchy.
I'm not talking about the patriarch. I'm just saying, like a standard framing. You want the whatever.
Yes.
Whatever.
Let's
So I can
kiss
see why they
short-
did it, but it
let's
just did not
kiss
make a ton of
short
mechanical
women
sense.
everywhere.
Well, women are statistically shorter than men. That's just normal.
Yes.
So, anywho.
Any other nitpicks, Benjamin?
Yeah. Why the heck, did they have holograms where they were sitting down?
Oh, yes. Because, like,
They're like, we're a group, but we're going to set our chairs really, really far apart, and the one person who's in the room, he can't have a chair.
Yeah, he's
We have empty chairs for our holograms, but not for you, standing man.
Yeah, do they all have equally sized desks? Like, do they all have equally sized rooms of their own that are just empty?
They must have a big flat screen for the Robert Redford to walk around in,
Yes.
because he's a hologram, obviously, to them.
Yes, but also, like, they put, like, when you think of them from a different perspective, like, oh, from the guy from, I don't know, the Middle East guy?
Yeah.
He's one of their government officials.
They kind of just did a diversity cast so that they could pretend it's from different places without having to try.
But they aren't actually American.
Oh, no. I think someone was from America. Wasn't Robert Redford?
No, he was from Egypt.
I don't know. Rami Malek's from Egypt.
I don't believe you.
He's from everywhere.
Egypt is from everywhere?
No, Rami Malek is from everywhere.
I don't know who Rami Malek is. This conversation is pointless. Anyway, so yeah, are they all equal distant from everyone else's office? Does everyone else's office have this same setup? You know? Yeah, wouldn't it be more funny if they could all just walk around each other in circles like Robert Redford is?
Yeah, that's always fun for an actor to walk in circles as they talk. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I know that's a staging thing.
As a side note, I kind of wanted a Robert Redford cameo, his character, in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
Yeah, so.
That would have been really, really cool, actually.
But he wouldn't because he's retired from acting.
Oh, I see. Now, something I had a question about was... where is it? Where's my notes?
Oh, wait. Are we talking about nitpicks or just stupid things?
Nitpicks or stupid things.
We wrote some cards about some subtitle things.
Oh, yeah. When I was in the very beginning, I wrote the note, radio speaking pirate French.
Because that's what we thought the subtitle said.
Well, we had to roll it back, but it said radio pirate speaking French, which is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear what pirate French was. Your impersonation is so much better than I could have imagined. Like a weird, angry French pig is what it is. It's not even... Oh, man. So, okay. So that aside, so that's something that was done that I did. But I will say, something I really wanted in the movie, and problems with these kind of movies in general, is in these movies, nobody really dies. They just get really bad boo-boos. They, Nick Fury, he dies in this movie 2 times. Right? He dies when he gets shot, and then, just kidding, he...
No.
Yeah, he survives. Oh, he survived, cool, and then he fakes his death at the end.
Well, that's for
everybody else.
Well, I think for the rest of the public, he died that first time.
Yeah,
so he didn't die a second time for the audience.
Yeah,
it wasn't a second fake out for us.
I know. I'm just saying, why even fake it out? Why not just have the guy die?
I'm not sure.
Let him die. It's okay.
Let the man die already. He lived a long life.
He was great until he decided to approach the Emperor Palpatine, and unlimited power. It led to his demise. That's all.
Yes. Why didn't he call Captain Marvel then to help during the Empire?
That's the real question. Because he had no hands.
No, wait, he did have hands.
So whose hand was cut off in this movie? In that Bucky had a metal arm? Is that what
Yes, that was... Because in a brief, fuzzy flashback memory thing from Bucky...
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they showed a bloody nub.
And then they also cut into it, which was gross.
Also, when... They're in a bank vault, by the way, for wiping his memory.
Yeah.
Which is like...
Oh, that was dumb.
Yeah, how did you get all this equipment into a bank vault?
Yeah, don't mind me, we're just going into the bank like we always do. Oh, yes,
Like,
is that
I
the
mean-
mind of
I mean,
racing
clear-
equipment?
I mean, it's clearly secret Nazi tunnels
Oh, of course.
in New York.
Yeah,
No, not New York, D.C.
they just hail Hydra to each other.
Yes. Hail to you too.
Hail!
Hail.
So, yeah, this guy is superhuman strength, right?
But what I was but I was going to say, when they're like locking him into the chair to have his mind wiped or something, they put 2 metal bands around his normal arm and then 1 metal band thing around his robot arm.
I'm assuming, since the whole thing is asymmetrical, that the electricity in it just like...
How do you know they
makes
put
it-
electricity through it?
Because you see, they put the thing on his face, and it's all weird. There's a tiny one on the one side and the
Yeah,
big one on the other side, and
I
you're
said
like,
it kind of looks like a Borg,
zappity zap zap.
which
Yeah.
I haven't seen that
So-
much of Star Trek.
So my thing is, he's super strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has a memory about this thing, and he knows that he remembers him. And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like, he remembers too much, wipe him. And he's like, okay, I will submit to this wiping. He's like, ow, this really hurts. My superhuman strength is rendered useless for no particular reason.
True, but the thing, like,
It's okay.
He's
I
been
mean,
bra-
shoot, later
he-
he gets a code phrase.
well, I think
so.
he's been brainwashed to think like I am, like I will submit to being programmed.
Well, also, he
Because-
hasn't been awake for very long.
Like, also, does he age?
No,
Like, when
they
he-
freeze him every time.
Yes, but
The Winter Soldier.
which
You
why,
know,
why is he called that? I'm not sure if there's a different reason in the comic. why
because he's
called
cold.
as the Cold War. Maybe
In
that's
the
when,
winter?
maybe that's when the comic came out. I don't think it did.
Oh, here we go.
Pause it again.
Oh, I'll pause it.
No. So we just looked it up, and we think that the comic that this movie was based off of came out in 2005. So I
But we
thought
still don't know why he's called the Winter Soldier.
yeah, but
That was the reason we stopped. We've been lost for so long.
we've been looking for so many hours.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the story.
No one knows. Anyway, that's all, folks.
That's not all.
What?
We were going to talk about character development.
Oh, characters.
I think the main character's development is no one. No one's character is developed in this movie. I'm going to just say it. Captain America is not designed to be a character who changes.
You're right.
And he does not change. Right?
You're right.
If anybody would change, I guess you could argue for Bucky, but not really. Not in the movie until the very, 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 very end.
Until the end where he's in the museum and wearing a baseball cap.
Yes, the power of
The chameleon,
stealth.
chameleoning.
Yes.
Chameleoning.
So nobody changes in this movie, right? Natasha doesn't change.
What about the French pirates?
The French pirates die.
Oh, that's
So Nick Fury doesn't change. He goes into hiding. That's it. Robert Redford doesn't change.
shame. Well, he does die.
He dies. So nobody's changing as a character in this movie. All that's happening is their eventual philosophies are clashing in physicality. That's it. Which
Well-
is exciting.
well, yeah, I don't think
But
that-
no one's like a better person or has learned a lesson or anything.
Well, yeah, that's another thing that we didn't really touch on yet, is that Hydra... Yeah, Hydra's philosophy is weird. Why do these people believe in Hydra?
Ooh, I totally actually am super cool with the idea of the Hydra setup right now. So they were like, oh, Hydra, people
Like with
want to be ruled. Remember Loki's big monologue in Avengers?
Yeah.
He's pretty much like
The same?
the same idea. It's like people, your natural state is to be ruled. You don't want to have autonomy. And Hydra, in Hydra's case, says, hey, we're the best thing
Yeah,
for that.
like
But you
Vol-
have to give it up. You
Yeah, you have
can't...
Because...
You can't have it taken from you, because then you'll always fight. But if you surrender it willingly, then you'll be cool. So we're going to work on that surrender part. And we finally have it ready.
Yeah, by killing 20 million people at a
Which-
time.
If it worked, though, it would have been ultimately good.
Well, you know Cap's philosophy. Like, in Infinity War, he's like... Vision says... Like...
Oh, it's like,
Yeah,
you should just kill me right now.
No, he says, you went to war, you were willing to sacrifice your life for millions. I'm willing to do that for the life of the entire universe. And they said, like, well, it should stand in the way of, like, one death should stand in the way of the universe or something. And I'm like, I get what you're saying, Cap. You're a good guy.
You
But
wanna save the good
statistically,
guys.
you're wrong.
Yeah,
You know?
there are more comic book movies that address this topic at greater length. I
Really?
think it's a movie I haven't seen, but I've watched some commentaries on. I need to get to it. It's Watchmen. So that movie, the villain wants to blow up these cities.
I believe that.
To-
I think that's Ozymandias. I think the guy's name is.
Yeah, so he wants to blow up these things for the greater good, and then there's the Rorschach guy. He's like, no one can die. I don't care if it leads to ultimately more death.
You're still.
Each
You're
person
still
cannot do bad.
Yeah, you're still murdering people. That's not good.
Yeah, so they're saying each individual action, like the ends does not justify the means.
Yeah.
So that does get teased out in other things, but I'm just saying.
I mean, this movie is it does kind of have a political message. I think maybe
not really. I think if anything,
it's definitely trying to say something about freedom and security.
yeah, it's true. It's true. The concept that they're finally willing to surrender their freedom for security is why they're able to yield to Hydra, is because they're willing to give that up finally for the security of Hydra. But they don't know that it's Hydra security. They just know that they want security.
He used air quotes in security again. Visual thing he was trying to do there.
Well, I think it's still a valid point with or without the air quotes.
Well, quotes can mean I'm not a racist. Quotes there would help.
That's true. Not in quotes.
I'm not a racist. I don't use punctuations correctly.
There we go.
But I think this movie it's just good. It's just a good movie.
Oh man, it's good.
It's so
It's
good.
super fun. It's one of the best examples of the what if scenarios. I think you're not really transforming anybody in this movie. No one's going any places, but boy, are you having a good time getting there. Super Mexican standoff. You got when he jumps out of the building with the shield.
Yeah,
He just hits the ground, and you're like, ooh!
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention.
So cool.
We forgot to mention the elevator fight as
Yeah,
well.
I mean, why is the magnet so strong? Why is that?
Because it's a magnet, and
yeah,
it's a
but
big
it's
one.
a magnet.
Okay, have you seen videos of giant magnets? If you think of a magnet of that size, it'd be
But
strong.
Captain America is very, very
Electromagnet.
strong. Yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying, it's not. They put a lot of emphasis on it.
True, but
Just saying. And why did they have two? Did they have two and he just swatted the other one away or something?
I think he did.
Hmm.
But what was I gonna say? What we were talking about?
We missed that part because it
Yes,
was
he
on
said-
the trailer. It
he
was
said-
everyone's like, "Oh!"
Yeah, he said he fell out of
When he jumped out of the window and landed on his shield, it was super cool.
yeah, I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Shoot, when he was chasing down Bucky that first time, while I was watching, I was like, "This guy's the Juggernaut."
Yeah, because
He's just running and just
he's
smashing
running-
through things with the
He's
shield.
running through walls. And,
It's a great idea.
Like-
Of course, you're going to use your super speed and strength with an unbreakable shield to just pummel through things, to just continue to run. It's a great idea. It's
Yeah.
stuff like that makes this movie just super fun. Because of course he would do that thing, but you'd never think of it. It's just great. It's just great.
So, the Russo brothers who directed this also directed Civil War, and then went on to direct Infinity War and Endgame.
So all the good ones, to our knowledge. We haven't seen Endgame, but so far all the greatest ones.
Yeah.
Maybe is it? I mean, would you put Civil War in the greatest ones?
Give it.
I definitely put Winter Soldier there.
I definitely give the airport fight scene in Civil
That's
War.
kind of the whole point of the movie.
Yeah.
The villain is way worse. This one has a really cool villain, and they never really go there. They totally could, but they don't.
Yeah. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. In the movies, they never really touch on Hydra, after this movie. They do in parts, but it's never the main focus. They do that in the show, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which we're not here to review that because you haven't really seen it.
It's true.
But I've seen the first two seasons, and in that show, it definitely gets a lot better after this movie came out, because they basically always directly reference the movie right after, like, the episode comes out or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like after the movie comes out, it impacts the television show.
Yeah, because and then in that show, one of the characters is revealed to be Hydra.
No.
Yeah, and that character is in Until Dawn, the video game.
Oh, okay.
He's the strong hunk boyfriend person.
Oh, not Rami Malek.
No, not Rami Malek, unfortunately.
So,
What are you saying about Rami Malek?
I'm just saying he's great. Anyway.
So
So, to wrap it up, I think it's time for reviews.
reviews, ratings. Sorry, we also just realized when we paused, we never talked about Falcon at all.
Oh, Falcon. This whole time, I could not remember his name, and in our notes, I just wrote Bird Boy because I couldn't remember his name. It's a great name. Falcon's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. But he's great. It was just another way to get him into the show. It was a good intro without an over-the-top origin story. It was just like folded in. They didn't even show them infiltrating the base and getting the stuff. They're just like, we'll get it. He's wearing it.
Yeah, he said it was behind like 3 steel doors or something, like in guard, and like, they don't even show that at all. That's like a complete oversight.
They were just like, yeah, they're so cool, you don't have to worry about it, man. You're like, okay.
But yeah,
and honestly, it's not an issue.
So yeah, that's a little catch up for that. But overall, I think I'd give this 9 secret Shield Hydra agents out of 10. No, 9 evil Robert Redfords out of 10.
There it is. Any explanation?
As to why Robert Redford is evil?
No,
well, if we clearly watched the movie.
I'm saying, why would you give it a 9 out of 10?
I mean, it's such a solid movie. It's so good. It's so entertaining. Like, there's very few legitimate flaws with this movie.
Yeah.
Like, for me personally, when I watch these movies, I always think, like, when I come out of them, I think, I have no real flaw. I remember coming out of Ragnarok thinking, I have no problem with this movie off the top of my head at all. But...
Well, I have to agree. This movie gets a very high rating.
I mean, next is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, man.
So...
Well, I already know what I'm going to rate that thing. But this one, I was really pleased. I had never seen it before, and everyone was like, oh, it's one of the best ones. Maybe the best one. And I said, what? Really? But it really is one of the best ones. I would give it 9 mouse holes out of 10, mostly because...
No, 9 Fury Mole Men.
Not 9
No,
Mole Men.
9 French radio... What was it?
Oh, come on.
What did it say?
What did it say? 9 radio-speaking French pirates.
Yeah,
Pirate
that's it.
French. Pirate French. 9 pirate French. Could you do the pirate French again?
Pirate
I
French.
can't even. There we go. Nailed it. It was a great time.
9 of those.
And so, I think we're good here. You good here?
I think I'm good here. Are you good here?
We're good here.
Okay, are you good out there? Good to hear. So, continue with us next time as we review Guardians of the Galaxy. As we continue on our road to Endgame.